Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Guardian unit in Lord of the Rings Rise to War. So hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So we go over here, we click enter, we go over to our barracks, we're going to see all the units we have. And one of the units that I do use quite a lot is the Guardians. So we're going to have a look at why I use them so much, why I think they are actually pretty great, and which commanders you should be using them with. So as you can see, I currently have 23,000 Guardians trained. So obviously I use them on quite a few of my commanders. So yeah, let's have a look at their stats first, look at their abilities, and then we'll go speak about commanders. So if we look at the stats, right, so Guardians, they come with 100 units per command. They are a melee unit, obviously. Their attack is 7 to 20, so that's a kind of a very big damage range. They could be doing 7 damage a hit, they could be doing 20 damage a hit. Pretty big damage range, so you're not really going to be relying on them for damage. However, they do have 40 HP, which is great, and they have over 100 base defense. They have 52 speed and they have 20 siege. We're not going to look at cost, but they're pretty cheap to conscript. So those base stats are honestly pretty great. It shows that, they're meant to be used defensively, or they're meant to be used as tanks, which, I mean, even the image of them sitting there with their big shields kind of shows that. But yeah, Guardians are really good tanks. They have amazing defense against physical damage, and they have a lot of HP. The speed is, not the greatest, neither. The siege is actually pretty decent, and their attack is, it's something, it'll do something. It's not exactly gonna, win you any fights, but hey, it does some damage. Now, if we look at their skills, which are actually pretty good, we can see they have a 50% chance of reducing physical damage by 20%. This is honestly a skill that a lot of commanders have. Like, a lot of commanders have skills where it's like a 50% chance or 30% chance of reducing damage received by 20%, 30%, whatever. I think even A1 has a skill like that, right? And your Guardians come with one of those skills built in. So you're not spending skill points on a commander to get that chance of reducing damage. But Guardians do have that. The skill, pretty good. Next up, they have Laceration. Normal attacks inflict an additional 20% physical damage continuous for 1 round. Honestly, the weakest skill the Guardians have. I don't really care that much about the skill, but it's some extra damage, so it's good to have. The next skill is Heatproof Skin. Burnt damage received minus 20%. And this is a more situational, skill. In roleplay campaigns, which is what I play in RP campaigns, it's only really useful against evil, because you're only really going to go up against alchemists. Those are pretty much the only time you're going to be fighting burnt damage, is Witch Kings loaded with alchemists or any other evil commanders that are choosing to run alchs on them. If you're not going to be going up against that and you're fighting good side, this burnt damage received perk is kind of useless, but still it's good to have. So overall, Guardians, they have great base stats. They they have really high defense, really good HP. They have skills to help reduce their damage taken even further, and they have some slight resistance to burn damage, which is especially helpful fighting evil. If you're in a non-roleplay campaign, however, where you're going to be fighting alchs on good commanders as well, for example, you can run into a Gandalf the Grey running alchemist or something. So in non-roleplay, this burn damage received skill, Heatproof Skin, becomes a whole lot more useful. But in roleplay, which is all I play, it's only really that useful against evil. So next up, let's go and have a look at the commanders that I run them on. So as I said, Guardians are very tanky, very solid unit. They have some damage output, but it's not great. So who should you be running them on? Well, you're definitely not going to run them on someone like Eowyn, because she's a Cav commander, but neither are you going to be running them really on Haldir or Gandalf the Grey, right? Unless you're using them just as a frontline tank troop, at which case you could do, you could run 2,000 Guardians so that you can use your ranged units to actually deal the damage. But besides using them as a tank troop on a army buff commander like Gandalf the Grey, Haldir, someone like that, the main time you're going to be using Guardians is going to be on your damage commanders. For example, Gimli. All your damage with Gimli comes from him, right? It's not going to come from your army. Therefore, you can stack him full of Guardians because they're going to be really tanky. They're going to be able to survive many, many rounds, which is perfect because the higher the army count on your commander, the more damage he can do. So if your Gimli has a full army, he's going to be doing more damage than when his army is at 50% or 25%. So you want your units to last as long as possible, which is exactly what Guardians are meant for. So running Guardians on a damage commander like Gimli, or even on Galadriel or Legolas, those are the best commanders to run him on. Let's see who else. Aragorn, he's a lovely damage comp. Elrond, I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty decent damage build, but I haven't used him because I don't have him in R5. But any damage commander that you have, you can run Guardians on, okay? Like you can single stack with Guardians, or you can add in some Ram Riders or some other stuff as well if you want. But yeah, Guardians are meant to be run on your damage commanders, or they can be used as frontline troops on your army buff commanders. So any commanders where you're going to be, doing your main damage from your range units or from another unit type, but you want something as a frontline shield, you can use your Guardians on. So someone like Celeborn or Arwen, or Gandalf the Grey or Heldir. But yeah, overall, I absolutely love Guardians. I personally have used them since like season 1. If you go back to all my season playlists where I covered my whole like season 4, season 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all the way up to this season, which is season 10, you'll see that I've always been using Guardians on all my damage commanders. There is also, Guards of the Tower that you could be using if you wanted instead. That is an alternative, but they're not as tanky. They do a bit more damage, but they're not as tanky. So for them, you can kind of put them on a commander. Maybe a army buff commander is probably better for Guards of the Tower, or, Dynadine or something like that. But for me personally, I just really like Dwarves, and I just really like Guardians, so I tend to run them on all my damage comps, and I tend to use them as frontline troops on my army buff commanders as well. So if you guys prefer a different frontline troop or a different tank troop, let me know down below in the comment section what that troop is, right? I mean, outside of beasts or tier 4 units, okay? Outside of tier 4 units, outside of beasts or neutral units that you have to recruit, just from your main units that you have available in your barracks, let me know if there's another unit that you would prefer to use instead. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.